Wait a
When,
minute.
when you think of great players at the school, obviously, Jerry West, Deshaun, Hunley for, the scoring. Could Gabe go down as a great player at the school, even though he's obviously not going to score anywhere near what those guys did? Can he still be remembered as a great player for what he does?
I think he could be remembered as a very valuable player. Great is a stretch. I just think he really is. He makes things happen.
Right.
I've tried to have somebody like that, but it's hard to find guys like that he doesn't care about scoring really. He's our biggest, strongest guy, so we post him a little bit, but he makes things happen. He changes the game. So I think he could be remembered as a very valuable player. Hopefully we can win some games, and you're not a very valuable player when your team gets its kicked,
You wish you'd had him since the start?
Yeah, I do, because you know what, Bob, believe it or not, that bricked free throw aside, he's really worked at shooting the ball, and he's more capable of making some shots on the perimeter, which that's what we tried to get him to do, so that they do have to guard him and don't just stand in the lane. And he's really worked at that. And then it's hard to have him in at the end of the game if he's not going to make a free throw. So yeah, I wish he's made tremendous progress in that aspect. So if we'd have had him longer, I think he could have gotten better.
You see the same kind of competitor in you that is in him?
Damn, Bob, I could shoot though.
Yeah. Yeah, but this went on a long time.
He's more athletic than I was. It's not a fair comparison, because he's athletic. He's got, for a guy that size, he's got great feet. He really is able to move his feet and guard. Well, you just get him to stop reaching and fouling. We need to keep him in the game longer. And he rebounds it. He gets key rebounds for us.
Does he remind you of anyone you've had in the past? Cam Thurman, maybe?
He's way more athletic than Cam. Cam had a great aptitude to learn and understand what we wanted him to do, and he had a really great background of how the game is supposed to be played. I don't know. I never saw Cam before he got hurt. What he did basically on one leg is incredible. We were getting ready to play. I think we were getting ready to play Louisville, and what's her name, Doris Burke, comes over to me and says, "Isn't it amazing what Rick has done with the team?" And I said, "Excuse me?" She said, "Well, he really doesn't have any players, and his center doesn't rebound." And I said, "Hey, Cam, come here." I said, "Doris, I want to introduce you to my center, Cam Thurman." She's about as big about as tall as Cam is. I said, "Watch what this guy does." It just irritates the heck out of me whenever, it's like pour this and pour that. We all recruited them. We must have saw something.
Coach, what did you get out of Curry tonight? And obviously,
He's made big plays. And when I talked to his coach at Old Dominion, when I talked to Jeff said he makes big plays, and he's made some big plays for us. He made big plays for us today, that's for sure. We just we got to be able to get it spread. And when the whole theory going in was that JB's going to make shots, and Sean's going to make shots, Taz's going to make shots, and then both the freshmen can make shots if we could get them in the game, which hopefully we get them in the next two games a good bit. But It's hard for any of those little guys to get downhill when you can't get the court spread.
If you need that extra shot maker in there, say like, you know, Sean is off or JB's off, does Malik kind of become that guy, or?
He's able to score, but it's in a much different way.
Right.
Yeah, I think Seth is going to be able to make shots for us. It's just I've got to get him game experience. Yeah, but it's hard to get him game experience when you're so afraid to put them in when they're young and don't know what they're doing.
19 of your 34 rebounds are on the offensive side tonight. Does that say anything? Was that an effort thing for you guys?
It means we miss a damn lot of shots. That's what it means.
I mean, in a way, it has to speak to effort too. I mean, you guys were down, and possessions were probably pretty valuable for you. So, is that something you can point to with these guys to be like, hey, we need to do this all the time?
We spend a lot of time rebounding the ball in practice. We've probably, for the last 2 weeks anyways, maybe last 3 weeks, we've started every practice with a rebounding drill. And we're still not very good at it.
You mentioned Malik making big plays, and he had some key baskets tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But he also hinted, shall we say, that he made a bunch of mistakes. How hard is it when you've probably been in his ear at times, and to come back and make them like crunch time?
I think he's one of those guys, Bob, that's what he's done. I mean, I think that's his MO. I'm talking to Jeff, and Jeff said the guy just keeps making plays, and sometimes you don't know how he makes them, but he's a great finisher for being that small. He's a terrific finisher. He's finished over a lot of big folk.
Not to be forgotten, Taz on 28 tonight on a night, like you said, JB and Sean were a little off.
A little was being very kind.
I'm trying to be a nice guy. But you see his aggression level kind of start to go up a little bit as the other guys struggle a little bit, and how tough
He wants to win. He did the same thing in the Clemson game. He's a great competitor, and he's really worked hard at his game. He has the ability to get his feet down, almost like Deshaun, or maybe as well as Deshaun did. Deshaun's biggest asset was how he could get his feet down and get his legs in a shot. And then Taz has kind of developed the same thing.
3-point defense. You guys have either seemed like in every game have either been on either side of the pendulum, where it's either really good and they don't make threes, or the other team just seems like it makes every three.
Well, they got to spread, Justin. If whoever can spread the other team is going to get step-in shots. Making shots, but it's really Taz is a different story because he can get his feet down so well, just like Deshaun was. But you're trying to get step-in shots. You're trying to it's like it's kind of like playing horse. You stand there waiting for the ball to come so you can catch it, step into it, and shoot it. And we gave them a ton of step-in shots. I think if you would go back and look at it, those are the kind of shots that are the easiest shots, jump shots to make, are step-in shots.
So can you really complain to your guys about 3-point defense when, obviously the other team's got something to do with that too?
Well, it's not the 3-point defense, it's the penetration you give that enables them to be a 3-point shooting team. Yeah. If you can keep them on the perimeter, if you can jam up the middle to where they can't penetrate and pitch it,
right. That's the difference.
But very few people make 3-point shots on the move. They're step-in shots. And that's all because of penetration and because they were able to spread them. And what did they do? I mean, they got their center out there. Center made how many threes?
5 or 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's when you have guys that can make shots, but they were step-in shots. It wasn't like he was beating anybody off the bounce.
Seemed like there were a few times where the energy started to slow down that you went to Paulie. What kind of role can he provide and bring value that way?
Well, that's not the reason I went to him, because we were tired. You know, our bigs were our bigs were saying, "Get me out." But I mean, we brought Paulie in here hoping he could block shots and rebound at this level, and I thought he was more of a sure thing than some of those other guys because he had played at DePaul, so he played against the Villanovas and the people, you know, Yukons and those people in the Big East. So he seemed to me like the surest deal that we could get.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.